Welcome to hashtag 52 Needs, and this week we are exploring predictability. And I am so delighted to have with me my very old friend, God, we've known each other for a lifetime, and my accountant and CPA, Susan Wahhab, who is a CPA, financial strategist, and money mentor. Susan is the founder and managing director of accounting and financial services firm Money Intelligence. She's also the author of the transformational and practical book, Money Intelligence, Anchored in Values, which I can highly recommend. Susan is passionate about helping people achieve financial liberation. She believes that people can become financially liberated by developing a healthy relationship with money through the art of balancing money with spirituality. Hi, Susan. So delighted to see you. Welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me, Angela.
Oh, it's so wonderful to be able to talk to you about a topic that I think is fairly close to your heart.
Yes, it is.
So the question I've got for you, can we actually predict how things work out?
Of course we can.
Really?
Yeah. No, I think one thing we need to, first of all, understand is that there is no such thing as certainty in life. The moment we are born, we're risking it.
Yes.
So part of the risk is actually to understand that we are here on a journey. That's one of the things that a lot of us forget as we're, living in, this modern world, that we are being given lots of myths. And the myth is that you can achieve security. You're sold the concept of security. And as an accountant and financial advisor, I sell it every day. I sell life insurance, I sell, superannuation. These are things that I sell myself. But in my heart, I know as a human being, and we need to take each other as human beings first before we start looking at the next thing. As a human being, I know that definitely there is no security in life. So if we go with that in our lives, we go with the idea that life is uncertain, life is insecure, then we can actually make changes in our lives that we can control, and we can accept the things in our life that we cannot control. And what actually, I actually thought about predictability this weekend, it being a long weekend. As you mentioned, you didn't do any work, and the only thing I did was just think about predictability because that's my topic. And I thought I'll talk about three things that I think do kill predictability. And the first one is that we, a lot of people do not know what they really want in life. Not having a clear purpose in life would definitely kill predictability. So one of the things that you can actually overcome that thing in our inside us as we're going around in life, the anxiety, is to actually have a clear purpose. And just be consumed by it, even though at the back of your mind, you could drop dead anytime, right? I could get in the car and I could have an accident. But what we need to do is within our own self is have that achieve a sense of peace within us. And by doing that is knowing what you really want to do in life. And it's the hardest thing to do, especially in the modern society that we live. What should I be when I grow up, or what should I do, and things like that. And a lot of people just think, I'm just going to be an accountant like me, or a doctor or whatever. But we have to go beyond it. We have to go beyond what, even if you end up being an accountant, like for me, I ended up being an accountant, I think by coincidence. But it's like, how can you make that be bigger than yourself? And for me, it was like building that legacy of the money intelligence concept that I created, and the book, and writing things, and being so passionate about where I am and what I want to do, and for other people. And also what I also realized is bringing financial knowledge with spirituality. I definitely think that they can mesh together, because we are not just an economic unit. We are a human being first. So the first thing that I said is not having a purpose would kill predictability. The other one is, I think, is what a lot of people feel, especially now in the age of COVID. Wow, can you believe we have an age of COVID? It was supposed to end for 3 months, and now it's like nearly 2 years, So in this kind of world that we're living in, and I think a lot of, previous generations, like our grandparents would probably have gone through wars. And so they know that there's something, like unpredictable in life for them, more than where we are living right now. And so for us, having this kind of constant barrage of, information, every day you watch the news and you go, oh, how many cases today? And it kind of discourages people, and you feel disheartened by this barrage of bad news. So how do you live like that? Because you're feeling all the time that life is unpredictable, especially in this time, and it's uncertain. We don't know what's going to happen to our life. We don't know what's going to happen to our children. We don't know what's going to happen to our parents. We don't know what's going to happen to our business. But one thing I know, that one of the surest way to actually, and I actually wrote it down because I was, meditating on it today, and I just want to read it to you because I feel like I wrote it like a prayer. So I wrote that one of the most powerful ways that we can push back against challenges, discouragements, and bad news is to all remind ourselves of the many things that we have to be grateful for. So in order to persevere, you definitely need the power of gratitude every single day. Like, every day you wake up and you brush your teeth and you have breakfast and you have lunch and you have dinner. It's like we're constantly eating. Why aren't we constantly 3 times a day? You pause, just pause for 30 seconds and think about all the things that you could be grateful for.
Well, I mean, if you look at it this way, I mean, we used to have the prayer used to be not for what you would get, like, yo, give me, but
that's right.
Especially for food, it would be because food was unpredictable, right? People would say, a thank you would say gratitude for the food they're about to receive, which was,
yes,
I now have certainty that I will eat. Thank you for that.
That's right.
Yeah.
But now we take all of these things for granted, and we have so much of it. We have so much food, so many clothes, so many shoes. Definitely so many shoes. No, seriously, like we have so much. We, like, most people have 2 cars in their house, not only one. But if I just think about even my parents' generation or my grandparents' generation, what I have is 100 times more than what they had. And still, someone like me with so much education, money, things in life, job, and a lot of us are in this situation, and we still end up being disheartened. And all I have to do every day is to remind myself where I have come from, where I am heading, what do I really have? And when we think about how much we have, and I think when we get to a point where we have so much and we have that gratitude within us, then that's when we can start giving to others. And by giving to others, we actually provide a place where we can bring other people within our circle. And that actually with it brings predictability, because the only way to actually achieve a better society is to have an equal or a fair society for all. So if we have this feeling that we have so much that we can give others, then you make sure that the people around you don't go without. And
So
if people don't go with that, they don't go crazy on the streets going, liberté, fraternité, égalité, let's chop your head off, right?
Toilet paper.
Toilet paper.
So we basically, what I'm hearing you say is we don't come from a place of lack anymore. Where our focus is not what we won't have, and the predictability is not, oh my God, I'm not going to have that, but it is on, I will be able to share, I will have people I can do this with, you know, and again, the gratitude comes into that, and then the purpose.
Right. And the last one,
okay,
what kills predictability and what could increase our predictability is the same thing, is not being in touch with the sacredness of our lives. We breathe, we feel, we live, we love. I mean, we are the most advanced species on the planet, you know, if not in other planets.
I doubt that sometimes.
No, we have to have faith in the human spirit. Remember faith in the human spirit, Angela?
Yeah, no, eventually I will. I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing, my purpose, if I didn't believe that. But I do have my moments where I go,
I know
that was not the best move.
That's right. Yeah. And I think that's also part of the discouragement, you know, when we're like feeling hopeless or discouraged, people are not getting it. Why are not getting it? Why are people, the crazy people, you know, even crazy people going to the shopping center fighting over toilet paper, and you think, where have we evolved and where are we going? And I think the recipe for that is to have faith that if we can change, so can other people. And it's part of actually feeling the sacredness of life, because if we feel the sacredness of our lives, we have to definitely feel that other people are just human beings like us. They are maybe on a different path, or they're on a different level of understanding or going to that, but we are all on some path of evolution. And
so basically, when we have that, when we trust, it's the whole thing, taking it away from people are predictable, right? Because I think that's the greatest disappointment we have. But if we remember that we're all on a journey, as you said, and we're all doing this, and we stop asking people to be predictable, we're much more in the moment, and we can have compassion also for ourselves and for others.
Yes. Well, I think if we don't have compassion, then neither change for them nor for us will happen. The transformation of people of the human race can't happen without the compassion, because people don't have the same abilities or the same understanding, and we have to take people where they're at every point in time.
Absolutely.
It's not easy. It's not easy to do that as a professional in the field that you're in, as a professional in the field I'm in. Sometimes I just shake my head and I go, why are people doing, why is this client doing that?
I think I was one of those.
You're going well. But I think we have to take people where they're at in their life. Putting ourselves in other people's shoes is and it's part of, and that's the sacredness of life, right? It's actually feeling.
Absolutely. You just made a really good point, putting ourselves into other people's shoes. Now, I'm all in favor of doing that, but I'm also very careful about saying how you do that, because if you put yourself into somebody else's shoes without actually considering that when you put yourself into their shoes, you take yourself with you, with your beliefs, with your emotions, with the way you look at a situation. The only thing you look back at is yourself from the point of view of yourself, as you would have been if you had stepped into that person with your beliefs. So the idea is to say, okay, the predictability I'm expecting this person to have is based on what I think they would be doing if I were in their shoes.
Yes.
Does that make sense?
Yes, it does make sense. Yes.
So it's always taking it with a grain of salt and saying, yes, I mean, when we know somebody really well, there is predictability, but it's not taking it for granted and not saying, I know exactly what you're feeling and that's what you're going to do next, instead of going, how are you feeling? And what are you doing? What do you want to do next? Sorry for interrupting. I was just,
no.
I'm really passionate about that point.
Yeah. 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 Beautiful.
Okay. All right.
Do I have anything else to say?
So we had lots of things. Yeah. Keep going. You've
Yeah.
got notes everywhere.
Oh, well, yeah, actually, I got my notes here. I got the notes there. This one is finished. Yeah, so these are the 3 points that I think kill predictability and the ones that will increase it. Or only understanding that we cannot actually understanding that we cannot predict what will happen next, right?
Yeah.
And that's the, you know, the juxtaposition of being alive. And it's part of, you know, going on the ride and just going with the ups and downs. We're just going to have some fun, a little bit of fun. It's like, you know, going on the, you know, merry-go-round and not being scared that, you know, anything is going to happen, but just having fun, because I think sometimes we forget to have fun, and that life can have, you know, we can have moments in between, you know, the routine of life can have moments of enjoyment, or just living in the moment, you know, like just living in the present, like going crazy for, you know, 5 minutes.
Yeah, or 10. Okay, so it's really funny. I mean, like, not funny. It's interesting how this went. I thought we were going to go into, well, inherently the brain has a negativity bias, so it always looks for things that don't work. So therefore the predictability comes from the brain constantly checking, is this going to work out? Is this going to work out? No, it's not. What do I need to do in order to make that happen? And instead we talk about purpose. But I should have expected that with you.
Oh, is it?
Yes,
Maybe
I think it's wonderful.
Is it?
Yes, absolutely. So it's just, I just find it really interesting how, you know, I mean, we want predictability in the small aspects of life, but what really matters, as you say, is looking at the bigger picture and just looking at what truly matters.
Yes.
But we create all our lives around predictability. I mean, we're surrounded by technology that now predicts our behavior. I mean, like my favorite is still auto spell. You know, that's a predictability.
No, that is wrong.
No, I don't want to spell this. Where did you get that from?
Yeah, that's right. It does not work. Yes.
So we organize all our lives around this. What's going to happen next? And can I predict this and put myself into somebody else's shoes, or worst case scenario, all of that. And when we let go of that and we just stay in the present moment and we do the best that we can, I think life changes dramatically.
It's interesting when you talk about like negativity and all, you know, how, you know, you thought that this is what we're going to talk about, because I actually was thinking about it.
No, I wasn't thinking about that, but that's what
I did.
Predictability, right?
Yeah, but I actually thought about all the things that would, like, you know, that as a human being, we do, you know, we talk ourselves into lots of negative things. And the reason I started the conversation with saying the 3 things that would kill predictability is because that is what is going on in our mind. We wake up with expecting bad things to happen. And even in my industry, even the idea of, you know, having life insurance, it's like, are you predicting that I'm going to die? Yes,
I am, actually. You will die.
Actually, it's going to happen.
The question is when and how.
Yes. And the question, but actually the bigger question is between now and when you die, which could be the next minute, what are you going to do with this life that you've been given? And that's where the sacredness of it happens. You know, it's taking it like you're not just another number, as 1.7.5 billion or nearly 8 billion now of people. You're somebody who is supposed to leave something on this planet. And it could be for you, it could be feeling love and giving love to other people around you. It doesn't have to be that you know, you build the pyramids.
Well, they already exist, thank God, so we don't need to go there.
going extreme, isn't it? Just build the pyramids. Yeah, we want to leave a legacy, pyramids. But it is just like going, oh, wait a minute, I'm alive. What am I supposed to really be doing here?
Yeah.
And who around me, I've landed here in this family or in this, like for me, it's like I landed here in Sydney. I met people like you and lots of people like you, actually, lots of coaches and, people who are in this kind of sphere, helping other people, and just go, why did I land here and I didn't land there? And I was supposed to get a job at PwC in Dubai, and when I first graduated, because I had Arabic and English, and why did I actually failed the interview, because the interviewer said, what's your weakness? And I said, well, if I feel something, I have to speak it, I have to say it, or whatever. And it's always like, whatever I feel, I have to share. And they didn't take me. Oops. So I actually called them because, I wasn't on the list of the, the graduates they were going to take. And I called and I got very upset because I thought the interview went really well. I did well and I got good marks. And he said, no, to be honest, it's the answer to the question. The senior interviewer did not feel that you would fit in our culture. PwC culture, that means.
Well, you know why? Because when you feel something and you answer, you're no longer predictable, right?
No longer predictable. That's right. It's amazing, isn't it? They wanted predictable accountants.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So it's like, but now I think, why did I land here? Why did I give what I give to the people that I know, people like you who are making a difference? And it took me a long time to realize I'm the accountant who wants to make a difference to the people who are making a difference. Crazy, isn't it? And even with other clients who are not coaches like you, could be an architect or something, they all want sustainable architecture, let's say. It's amazing. And so that's my belief. If you come from your heart will lead you, and your heart is the compass that would help you to, if not measure predictability, but allow you to actually live a richer life. And that's more important than anything else, is to actually have a richer life. And it's not about money, how we're going to talk about money soon. A rich life is one where like if your heart is singing, and if you're crazy, you go crazy when you get excited about what you're doing and what you're in your life, that is wealth, that is richness in life. And that's more important than, adding the dollars in the bank account.
Perfect. Well, this is a great place to stop. I think we can have, I literally think we have barely scratched the surface, but yes. I hope this has provided everybody who's with us with lots of food for thought, and look at where do you actually need predictability in your life and what matters. But we're going to have a second part of this interview. So if you like this, tune into the other part. So thank you very much. Thank you, Susan. And we'll see you next week.